last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns. They promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shot. It's whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. Last season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Welcome to the Valley Parade Ground, Bradford, the home of Bradford City Association Football Club. The Bradford team for today, at the moment we're not entirely sure of all the players. At number 1 is Mumby, 2 is Ford, 3 McGowan, 4 Simpson, 5 Francis, 6 Roebuck, 7 Harkin, 8 Scarrett, 9 Noble, 10 Hill, 11 Hobbs, 12 Furbank, and number 13 should have been Heron. We've been told there's a change there, but we haven't been told who it is, who is turning out at number 13. So we don't know the number 13, nor do we know either of the substitutes. There's an extremely strong wind blowing right across the field, and we are perched very precariously on top of the stand, facing right into it. The Wigan team this afternoon showing many changes. Number 1, Hampson. Number 2 is Marshall. Apologise for any noises, but it's very noisy up here on top of the roof. Number 2 is Marshall, number 3 is Lydon, number 4 is Bell, number 5 Preston, 6 Hanley, who's captain for the day, scrum half 7 is Byrne, 8 is West, 9 Kiss, 10 Shelford, 11 Goodway, 12 Wayne, 13 Potter, and the substitutes for Wigan, 14 Betts, 15 Lucas. The referee for this afternoon's game, Mr. Tennant. Wigan, having lost the toss, bit of indecision in the centre of the field, will be playing from left to right. With Wigan to kick off. Joe Lydon, ground looking fairly hard in the centre. Rain, spots of rain beginning to come down. We're very exposed to it up here. And the sand is having to be brought on even for the kick-off. Packed ground, of course, being a soccer ground, a lot of people behind the post, each end of the ground. And there Joe Lydon starts it off and miss-hit it, bumping awkwardly into the 25. Big, tall team, Bradford, some very big lads on it. Even the three-quarters are very tall as Bradford forward come tearing out of their own 25, driving in hard. Noble acting half-back. And this is tight, tough forward play in this first exchanges, and it's just one forward at a time coming. Massive bulk there, comes driving into the Wigan half. And Wigan penalised for hanging on. And somebody's opened his mouth, and it's another penalty 10 yards nearer. Wigan found Brendan Hill a terrific handful then as he came tearing through. And Hobbs, number 11, second row forward, decided he's going to try and bang it over early in these early minutes. Wigan not yet handled the ball. 5 tackles, not gone, as they battered the way out of their own 25. Wind is blowing from the opposite side of the field, from the Bradford right to the Bradford left, and this kick is being taken to the left of the post as Hobbs looks down, stabs at it, and he's pulled it wide and dead. So it'll be a dropout from the Wigan 25 line. Joe Lydon coming up. His last effort wasn't particularly good. The wind gets hold of that, holds it high in the air. Ford making a beautiful break. Lydon comes across to take him. Now it's Furbank, puts his shoulder in, runs into Shelford. Noble waiting for the play the ball. Noble out to Harkin. Harkin moves it across onto Hobbs. Hobbs driving in hard into the Wigan pack. Noble out to Harkin. Harkin onto his standoff, who's dropped the ball. Wigan can't take it cleanly. Referee sings it's back to 1. As Francis falls on it. Now Roebuck coming in hard. They're coming onto this ball extremely well in these early stages. Noble to Harkin. Harkin doing a dummy with a loose forward. Hobbs is bundled down fairly easily this time. Noble to Harkin. Harkin holding it. Short pass. Wigan meeting them hard and determinedly. Noble out to Hobbs. Hobbs a little overhead kick. Taken cleanly by Wigan. Going hard down the wing. Preston turns it inside and throws it straight back to Bradford. First time Wigan have got it, it turned back inside. Mistake by Wigan. Once again the forwards come at it and Wigan meeting them. But Wigan under a lot of pressure. Acting halfback has a good run. Wigan forward waiting a bit in that instance. Harkin gone to acting halfback, out to Roebuck. Roebuck dumbing with it, trying to go through on his own. It's put down, 8 yards out. Out to Harkin. Harkin switching it back inside. Ball's gone loose on the floor, and Wigan have it. 5 yards out from their own try line. It's going to have to be a battle now. And it's Hampson, not the forwards, who's bringing it away. And the penalty to Wigan, hanging on in the tattle. That would be a bit of relief for Wigan, but they have a problem. They're kicking into a fairly strong wind, very strong wind. And Lydon comes over. Makes sure of it, finds it. 10 yards outside the 25. Don't seem to be any ball boys on duty today. Probably not used to it on this soccer ground. Wigan take the tap. Shelford drives into the forwards. They hurl him over towards the touchline. Kiss coming over to acting half-back. Bradford moving up very quickly. And Wigan are forced back into the ruck. Good way. Long one across to Hanley. Hanley moving it on to Bell. Bell to Hampson. Hampson dumbing with it. Lets it go and it's been lost. Wigan handling not good and Simpson driving in. Furbank behind the play of the ball. Trying to go on his own. Wastes the tattle. Simpson onto Harkin. Harkin a short one. Onto Hill. He'll stop dead in his tracks. Noble waiting for the play of the ball onto Hobbs. Hobbs having to hesitate. He's picked up, stopped dead in his tracks. Noble to Roebuck. Roebuck along one to Harkin. Wigan coming quickly, good spotting by Hanley and Goodway, they're coming well. Referee signals 5 tackles have gone. Looks as if Ford could well be being brought in for the drop kick. And it's charged down and straight back. And the ball's been dropped and Wigan have snatched it up. Wayne lobs it out. And Simpson wraps Wigan up. And Marshall coming inside to act in half-back, puts his head down, tries to put his way through the tackles. Kiss attacked in half-back to Byrne. Byrne on to Shelford. Shelford stopped dead in his tracks with a powerful tackle. As Scarrett came into him. Now on to Goodway. Goodway running hard, but the tackling is strong and fierce and determined. As Kiss comes up. Kiss onto Line. Line going to kick. He's going to go straight into touch. A lot of difficulty in kicking today with this awkward wind. Referee on the narrow side as Harkin comes over, puts it in, it's coming out to Harkin, hangs in the pack a bit, onto Francis who's come inside, being forced across the field, lost a bit of ground as Hampson came up. Roebuck waiting behind the play of the ball, trying to come down the middle, gets it out to Noble, gets it out to Scarrett. Wigan snuff the move out. Noble onto Hill, big powerful forward, he's broken through, West hanging on to him, managed to pull him down, but Hill causing Wigan a lot of trouble. Comes on to Furbank, Furbank doing the switch, you see Harkin going back inside. Noble onto Scarrett. Scarrett going for the line. His arms are locked as West hangs on to him. Referee says 5 tackles have gone. 2 yards short of the Wigan line. Kicked into touch. Scrum down. 10 yards out from the Wigan line. Referee on the narrow side of the field. Wigan heads not in. Packs wheeling all over the place. Referee wanting them out. 10 yards in from the touchline. Into the heads. Ball's in, looked like a bit of feeding. Burns got away with it. Referee saying that they were offside at the scrum. It's a penalty to Wigan. Joe Lydon to put it into touch. Bangs it over the top of our stand here. Marshall coming up to take it. No, he hands it on to Goodway, on to West. West puts his shoulder in, meets 3 forwards. Unceremoniously bundled down as it goes out to Byrne. Byrne onto Shelford, taking a short one. Shelford managed to get his pass in. Onto Bell. Bell nearly killed there as they were coming up on him very quickly. And Byrne, that's the saving kick by Byrne. It's going straight to Ford in his own 25. Ford trying to go along the outside, coming back inside, lobs it inside. Bradford going round in decreasing circles, and that kick of Byrne has relieved Wigan of a lot of hard graft. This looks like being a dour game among the forwards. Hanley going into the tackle. Noble comes over. Now Bradford move it. And the referee going to give obstruction, I think. Reckons a player went through without the ball. Yes, he's given the obstruction. Missed time pass caused the obstruction with someone coming through on the burst. And so it'll be Lydon to push Wigan for the first time with possession into the 25, into the Bradford 25. Byrne coming up, first pass is going to be Hanley when we get the ball back. Hanley first pass and then Goodway, goes to Hanley, onto Goodway, Goodway short one. Shelford lets it go, Kiss quickly out. Bell gets it out onto Preston. Preston faced with opposition, easily put down. And Shelford looking shaken in the middle of the field. Now Wayne trying to bustle his way through. Wigan lying very, very deep as Graham West decides he's going to take them on his own. And he's swung round and bounced down. This is fierce among the forwards. Comes out to Potter. Potter turning it back. Long one onto Hanley. Hanley dummying, running out wide. Dummying trying to go through, still going. Gets it out onto Marshall. Marshall going for the line. And he dives and he's in. Great finishing by Marshall. Well, Wigan have hardly had their hands on the ball, and for the first time they started to move it. And Hanley showed his skill and his power and his determination. Eventually, one-handed, it went out onto Marshall, who showed good finishing power to give Wigan the lead after they've been under tremendous pressure. To 12 minutes play, then Wigan go into a 4-0 lead. They've stuck at it well, not had much ball. Joe Lydon, 7 yards in, stabs at it, and it's just misses. Good effort by Lydon, kicking into the wind. So Wigan withstood the pressure very well indeed. Now go into a 4-0 lead. Bradford, right to left, hard one, and it's straight gone dead. Referee said it was touched, and so it'll be a drop out from under the post. He hit it hard. Hanley tried to take it, touched it, and it went dead. So Wigan having to drop out. The wind holds it in the air. Taken by Simpson, gets out of one tattle, and he's pushed back. Noble coming over for the play of the ball. Noble out to Harkin. Harkin hands it on to Mumby. Mumby trying to come down the middle, wrapped up by Kiss. Harkin moving it on to Roebuck. Roebuck out onto Skerrett. Skerrett puts his shoulder in. Wigan forwards holding quite easily. Noble playing it round the narrow side. Onto Hobbs. Hobbs grovels his way forward. This is very pedestrian stuff from Bradford at the moment. Had a lot of ball, a lot of it's been bullocking and barging. Loose forward, just moves it on back onto Mumby. Mumby coming well down the middle. Goodway takes him from behind. Referee holds his hands up for 5 tackles gone as Noble comes over. Once again on the narrow side. Hobbs puts the grubber kick through, and it bounces very awkwardly and into touching goal, so it'll be a tap from the Wigan 25. Shot away from Preston's. He tried to cover that kick by Hobbs. Kiss. Sun coming out now. Ground bathed in sunlight. Very weak, watery sun. Wigan forwards very close together, very bunched as Kiss takes the tap. Running into a brick wall, Wigan being pushed back. Oh, the boot went in. Touch judge is on, yes, the touch judge. Referee didn't seem to spot it at first, but then the touch judge coming over. Boot went in the tattle. Caution being given. Hill being read the riot act to, put in a little kick there. Lydon's touch, makes no mistake, finds it on the halfway line. Kiss coming up, West wanting the ball, and it's West who takes it. Running cross field, managed to get his pass in. Wigan running a bit wide as it comes to Hanley. Hanley dummying, gets onto Lydon going for the line, he's got legs, he must score! Great break by Wigan, and Lydon goes in. Once again, set up by Hanley. And Lydon steamed onto that ball, came through onto it beautifully. Touch judge coming on, having a word. I think there was a late tattle went on. Touch judge not seeming to take any action, so Wigan go into an 8-0 lead. Not getting a lot of possession, but certainly rubbing it in when they get the ball. And Lydon came through beautifully at top speed. Referee and touch judge communing, and yes, the touch judge had seen Byrne had been flattened after he got rid of the ball, and referee not noticed it, but it was well spotted by the touch judge for the late tackle, having a word with Bank. And once again, from almost identical spot as before, about a yard nearer to the touchline, another difficult one for Lydon. And that one's pulled the opposite way, right across the face of the post. Most difficult for goal kicking this afternoon. About 16 minutes of this half gone, and Wigan must be well satisfied with the starved of possession and yet running in two very good tries. Both set up by Hanley and well finished, one by Marshall, one by Lydon. Hits it hard, it's covered this time, trapped by Hampson. Wigan fighting the way out of the 25. Byrne holding it, sidestepping back into trouble. Has to go down under relentless tackling. The Wigan forwards are very, very close together. This time it's Goodway who's gained a lot of ground, gained a good 10 yards of ground. Potter lying in very close. And it's flung back for the kick to Lydon, having to dummy and change direction. Hoists it, bounces awkwardly. Ford now running it out. Gets round Preston. Preston takes him at the second attempt. Moved very well along the touchline, Preston. Now it's Wigan being spread as Harkin moves it cross field, and Hanley comes in, reads it well, helped by Potter, stops the move. Harkin coming through from acting halfback, long one on to Skerritt. Skerritt wanting to get it back inside, but his arms were locked. Simpson from behind the play the ball, on to Roebuck. Roebuck on to Hill. Hill being buried this time. Harkin moving it along. Wigan meeting them. Wigan defence holding very well, as the referee says 5 tackles have gone, and Harkin puts the grubber kick in behind the Wigan defence. Good kick into the Wigan 25. Got to come out to the 10-yard line, wheeling over to the touchline as the referee standing on the narrow side of the field. And it's a penalty for incorrect feeding. Byrne in trouble for not putting it in straight. Bradford now in a good attacking position. Got a bit of a confidence as to what they're going to do. Taps taken, Harkin moving it out, Roebuck handing it on to the loose forward, and he's easily put down. Roebuck having a run from behind the play of the ball. Wigan up quickly. Bradford keeping this very, very tight. Switch of direction, now they're going down the middle. And the Wigan player flattened off the ball, and he's well out. As the kick through comes behind the defence, it bounces awkwardly for Marshall. Potter shake, taking off the ball, but Wigan caught over their own try line in their own in-goal area, going to have to drop out. Potter needing treatment. Lydon coming up. Ford on the halfway line, juggles with it, trying to sidestep his way inside, managed to get his pass in onto Harkin. Harkin turning it back in onto Mumby. Mumby going through, gets away from the first tackle. And Wigan come in and eventually they smother him, but it's Bradford hot on the attack again. As Noble moves it out, a long one onto Ford. Ford sidestepping inside, managed to lob the ball back, and Roebuck caught in possession. Played quickly. Harkin gets it out onto Skerritt. Skerritt running back into the forwards. He's easily put down. Back to Noble. Noble doing the switch. Onto Hill. Hill coming strongly. Wigan having a job holding him. He's so strong and powerful. Eventually they force him down in the 5th tackle. Noble. Switch back. And that's surely a drop ball, and we can fall on it, we can get possession. We'll be glad to have that one, but they're back in the right on their own line. They've got to bring it away. Kiss waiting behind the play the ball. On to Shelford. Shelford puts his shoulder in. Great run by Shelford from inside his own 25. Forwards, he was met hard and he brushed his way through them. Back to Hampson. Hampson going to kick. Hoists a high ball for Mumby. Mumby takes it well. Walls moved up. Gets the ball out. Simpson looking very strong. Managed to get his pass on. Onto his wingman. Onto Francis. Noble waiting for the play of the ball. To Furbank. Furbank running at the Wigan forwards. Managed to get his pass in. Played quickly. Harkin caught by Lydon. Lydon moved very quickly around the play of the ball. Noble out to Roebuck. Roebuck, a long wide pass. Whoa, and that was a terrific tackle by Wigan. Good way going in very hard. Kick's been knocked down. It's coming back to Bradford. Referee signalling is back to one. So Bradford having a lot of possession. Wigan having to do a lot of tackling. The Scarrett forces his way up to the Wigan 25. Bradford finding it very hard to crack this Wigan defence, relying on brute force and ignorance mostly. Noble. Switch with Harkin. Nice interpassing by Bradford, keeping the ball moving well. There's a big gap in the Wigan line out of it. Bradford driving hard. Wigan were being sucked into the middle of the field then. There was a big gap out on the wing. Comes out to Roebuck. Roebuck moves it out wide. Bad pass has been intercepted by Wigan. Byrne onto it quickly. Hampson trying to bring it away. Gets out of one tackle. Still struggling his way forward. Back to Marshall. Marshall to West. West driving in. Three men take him. Kiss coming over. On to Byrne. Byrne moves it across to Goodway. Goodway to Hanley. Hanley gets his pass in. On to Shelford, and he's well tackled. Hanley waiting behind the play of the ball. Running it out. He's on his own. But he's so strong. Whips it back inside to Byrne. Byrne gets it out onto Shelford. Shelford coming back inside. Wigan having to fight the way forward an inch at a time as they play into this hard wind. Kiss doing a run from half-back. Gets it to Lydon. Lydon kick. Rolling towards the touchline. Kept in play. Good run by Simpson as he came inside well. Wigan covered across. Harkin waiting behind the play of the ball. Mumby very powerful as he came into the attack. Noble onto Harkin. Harkin a short one, and Wigan spotted it. Bit of mauling going on in the tattle. Noble comes over. Harkin puts a grubber kick. Hit a Wigan player before it went into touch. Referee on the word with the touch judge, not signal yet whose feed it is. Wigan to put the ball in. Byrne has it. Wigan knocked down. Kiss still having a job getting it in the front row. Referee shrilling on his whistle. Byrne feeds out. Wigan have lost it. Francis cuts inside, tries to come through, met by Hadley and Hampson. Wigan lost it against the head. Roebuck running through from behind the play of the ball, forced onto the outside, and he runs into West. Noble onto Scarrett. Scarrett not showing a lot of drive. Noble to Harkin, who's the general. Out onto Hobbs. Hobbs sidestepping nicely. And Potter's in quickly to fling his man round as that was a bad lob pass. Harkin behind the play of the ball. Switching it back Robert coming across. Robert turned it inside. Referee says it was forward as he handed it on to Furbank. Wigan with an unfamiliar half-back and hooker together, not really combined for feeding. They're up against a big heavy pack and an experienced hooker. It's into the pack. Byrne pulls the ball out and the referee said you're not having it. He's still not got it out. It was locked in the pack as the pack's wheel. Byrne feeds, shoots straight out the side of the scrum. We can pull it back in the pipe, but it's Roebuck who has it. A lot of untidiness there, and Bell came in well to smother that out. A lot of untidiness round the scrum. Wigan losing it in the tight scrums. Hobbs snatched out of the air, 10 yards out from the Wigan line. Roebuck moving it out, forward trying to bash their way through this Wigan line. Comes out to Harkin, Harkin dumbing it, lobs it back inside. The loose forwards picked up in the air and shoved down. Wigan defence under a lot of pressure as Harkin working all sorts of moves. Roebuck now changing direction, going round in decreasing circles. It goes down in the fifth tattle. Noble, and the drop goal is charged down and it's going to be back to one as Mumby takes it. Lydon comes inside. The referee let him play go on. Says 6 tackles have gone as Wigan get the ball. Kiss in there quickly onto Goodway. Goodway powering his way over the 25 line. Running so strongly, taking 3 of them to put him down. Hampson waiting behind the play the ball. Burns up first pass. Byrne who gets it. Byrne hands it on to Wayne. Wayne being taken as he's getting it. Lobs it back to Byrne. Out to Hanley. Hanley sidestepping, going down the middle. Good running by Hanley. And it's Shelford who's up there with him to take it on the burst. Plays it quickly. Kiss moving it out onto Potter. Potter lobs it out onto Preston. Preston's going to get dragged into touch if he's not careful, but he managed to stay just in play. Lobbed by Wigan onto Shelford. Shelford dummies if he's going to kick, and he bounced down. The referee signalling that 5 tackles have gone. Lydon belts it hard. Way over the stand, out into the street. 6 tackles, so it'll be a play the ball, it'll be a rollover. Wigan want to get themselves sorted out, they don't seem to be too sure. As Hill comes up to play the ball to Noble. Noble trying to go through from acting half-back. Now it's Harkin's turn. Harkin, he's trying to run it through, gets it out to Roebuck. Burns in to take him. Furbank now waiting behind the play the ball. He decided he's going to play him. Well, he knocks Byrne off at the first effort. Byrne goes over. Ball's played forward. Wigan penalised, I think, for not facing them straight. This is a kick right in front of the post. Wigan offside, out to play the ball. Groans from the crowd. Half an hour gone. Wigan 8. Bradford 0, and Bradford with a tremendous amount of possession and not being very effective with it. Absolutely straight kick. Inside the 25. A few yards inside the 25. Thirty minutes gone. Hobbs moving back from the ball. Stabs at it, and it goes over. Wigan 8, Bradford 2. Joe Lydon. Ball blown over. This wind is very strong. Hits it hard, it could well be going dead. No, taken cleanly in the goal area. If he let that go, it could well have been a penalty to Bradford. He took it right on the dead ball line. Loose forward, big tall lad trying to stride his way through. Wigan have stolen the ball. Kiss so good at that. Byrne hands it on to Hanley. Hanley trying to duck under the tackles. Byrne coming up to act in half-back. On to Bell. Bell trying to come through the middle. Legs are taken from under him. Wigan not spent a lot of time down here as Byrne hands the ball on. Shelford decides he's going to go the straight way. Lets the ball go and West can't take it. Been dropped on by Bradford. Shelford trying to slip a pass and West not up to taking it. Now Bradford with the juggernaut tactics, crashing the way forward. Parking the short one onto the forward, turning, putting the shoulder in. Wigan wrestle him down to the ground. Noble moving across the field. Hanley goes in, takes it. Furbank, Hell plays it. Very tall, loose forward. Made one good run, otherwise not seen a lot of him. Kick behind the Wigan defence, it's behind Preston, it sits up for him. Coming into the middle of the field, has to die with it on the 25. Hampson's up, he'll have a run I think, yeah, it's Hampson giving his team time to get back. Byrne moving it on onto Bell. Wigan going crossfield, not making any ground at the moment. Kiss comes up out to Byrne. Byrne onto Shelford. Shelford onto Marshall. Marshall keeping away from the touchline. Byrne, long one inside to Goodwin. That was a good pass and Goodwin decides he's coming straight and hard. Gets it on to Wayne. Wayne backing up well. Throws the ball out to Potter. Potter keeping it moving. Longs a lob one out onto the far wing. Wigan keep going hard. Referee says it's forward. Lydon tearing through. Groans from the crowd. Not easy giving long passes from this side of the field to the far side. It's straight into the teeth of the wind. Be harking to feed. This time it's Bradford who are having trouble getting their heads in. Referee penalises Wigan for not letting Bradford in. Kiss none too happy with that decision as Mumby comes over. Good kick by Mumby. Bradford now along the Wigan 25 line. Hanley going in, takes it well. McGowan, very tall centres behind the play. The ball, it's been lost and Wigan have it. Penalty to Wigan, Bradford offside at the play of the ball. Now will Wigan kick for touch in this wind? Joe Lydon being called over. He hoists it high and sure. Kiss takes a tap and a short one. Wigan driving hard onto that. Bradford pleading that it's their ball. The referee goes over, says it's not. Shelford met as he's receiving the ball. 3 forwards, 4 forwards, they push him back. And they're still pushing him a good 15 yards. There's trouble here, touch judges on, that's what causes bother. Went on so long that eventually everybody decided they were going to pile in. And everybody's running over to get in on an act that should never have started. Bradford were allowed to push Shelford back at least 15 yards. Other players come in to try and halt the movement, and that's when the tempers rise. Bradford player going to get red eye attack too, I think. And the Wigan player, West is being brought in. Referee wants nobody else in. Wigan are expecting it's going to be their penalty, I think. And it's a long lesson that we're getting. Penalty to Wigan. About 3 minutes to half-time. Wigan will be glad if they can keep this 8 points to 2 lead. They've now got possession with about 3 minutes of this half left. The tap goes to Hanley, standing still. Wigan handing it across. Wayne decides he's going to have to go. He's thrown the ball away, and Lydon picks it up. And Wigan penalised, and there's battling going on. Referee says it was obstruction. And Bell is going to get sent off. Hampson appealing to the referee. Can't see, the referee's holding up the card. He's probably getting 10 minutes. And it's a pity that tempers are coming in. So Wigan going to have to play 3 minutes of this half and probably 7 of the next. Hobbs going to kick for goal. Just when I was saying, Wigan will want to hold it tight till half-time. Wayne threw out a pass that wasn't on as they're going for the ball. The referee adjudged that Bell had obstructed, and the player that was alleged to have been obstructed didn't like it, and Bell gave him a 41. Hobbs 9 yards inside the Wigan half. Stabs at it, and it's over. So it's 8 points to 4. 2 penalty goals to 2 tries. Well, Wigan paid the price there for what should have been safe, and are now going to have to play a man light for the rest of this half and the start of the next one. Lydon wanting sand. The clock is stopped. No, they were not waiting for a ball. Now we have 2 on. Referee waves us on again. And Lydon tees it up. Hard along the ground. Into the 25. A lot of oohing from the crowd. Crowd are getting all worked up and incensed. Bradford back into their own 25. Wigan forwards full of fire. All hepped up. Going in to meet them, and Hanley going across. And that strong running, and that pass is surely forward. As Ford goes for the line, the referee's given the forward pass. Referee bringing them back. Bradford came onto that very strongly. You probably heard in my excitement, but that pass was well forward. There goes the hooter for half-time. 10 minutes in which they can cool their ardour, get the tempers down. The players go off after a hard first half. Bradford 4, Wigan 8. So the players come out for this second half. Both teams battling to stay up in the top four, looking for a home draw in the playoffs. This half it will be with Bradford to restart the game, kicking off from left to right. Hobbs in the centre of the field, waiting for a ball. The ball boy's been very slack this afternoon. Pitch somewhat short, not a great deal of distance between the 10-yard lines as Hobbs belts it into the Wigan in goal area. Marshall running crossfield, met determinedly and bundled back. And a penalty to Wigan for an offence in the tackle. Very early penalty then, first, second. Lydon brings it up to the Wigan 25, right on the 25 line. Wigan hoist it down the field. Runs away from Ford. Ford takes it in his own in-goal area. Decides he's going to kick. And it's straight into touch, putting Wigan into a good attacking position. In the early moments of this second half, Goodway has come to left centre. Hampson getting ready to link up. Wigan look as if they wanting to move him. They can't get their heads in. They might get the ball out. Kiss still not down as the pack weaves over to the touchline. Drops out of Burns' hands. Referee's flat on his back. Bradford in possession, trying to run through from behind the play of the ball. Wigan losing in the scrums at the moment. Harkin moving it inside onto Hobbs. Hobbs is met by Shelford and Kiss. Hanging on to him. Noble round the narrow side. Runs into West. Hard, tough stuff among the forwards as Harkin moves it out to Roebuck. Roebuck moving across field, gone loose. Balls all over the place. Referee's going to give the knock on. Bradford lost it. Wigan couldn't take advantage of it. Wigan to feed, but Wigan not getting the ball from the scrums. No coordination between Byrne and Kiss. Once again, Kiss can't get his head in. Packs all over the place, collapses. An odd referee orders a re-scrum. Wigan packing 5 forwards. This time it's Bradford are knocked down. The scrumming's terribly untidy. This time it's out to Byrne, onto Hanley. Hanley doing the run around. Gets it onto Goodway. Goodway bursting forward. He's met by good, strong, safe tackling. Hanley decided he's going to go on his own. Dummying. And he's had the ball taken off him. Furbank coming in strongly and Hanley's flat out on the floor. After that, as Harkin runs it out, moving it out well to Simpson. Simpson turning in the Wigan half, and Wigan seem to have gone to sleep a little bit at the moment. As Bradford now start to turn it on, and Wigan are terribly stretched. Nearly an obstruction as Potter came up to smother his man, and number 13 was out of position. Harkin now running hard, puts in a good grubber kick in. Hampson fumbles it, gets at the second attempt. Bravely goes into the defenders. Good way from behind the play of the ball, running very, very strongly crossfield, and eventually he's knocked down. A lot of fierceness in the tackling. Lydon kicks deep, long and deep into the in-goal area, and Wigan looking for a substitute or more assistance. And Mumby sells a lovely dummy. Bradford are tackling down the far wing, and Wayne comes across well. But Bradford now turning it on, and Wigan all at 6s and 7s, now without Hanley and without Bell. One fields, Wigan heaving them over to the touchline, and if Bradford move the ball here, Wigan are going to be in all sorts of trouble. Harkin now holding it, spreading it across, Shelford moving up quickly. Harkin onto Hobbs, Hobbs back to Harkin, Harkin a long one, onto McGowan, McGowan being followed by Goodway, swings him round. Ford from behind to play the ball, puts in a little kick, comes back inside. Going to be a scrum down, and Hanley going to be substituted, I think. So Wigan down to 11 men at the moment. They don't seem to realise that Hanley's gone off. They're still packing 5 forwards. West twisted badly in the scrum, can't get down. Kiss is not in. And Hanley looks if he's coming back on, yes. And Wigan got a penalty for not scrumming properly. Referee having a word with Kiss, and Mumby going to kick for touch. So Bradford once again putting the pressure on Wigan. Noble comes up, Noble to Harkin, Harkin onto Hill. Hill showing so much strength and power. Noble doing a switch with Harkin. Roebuck out to Hobbs. Hobbs going for the line. Wigan pulling at him. Hampson hanging on. Noble out to Harkin. Harkin jumping with it. Scarrett went for Harkin's going for the line. Referee's over. Touch judges there. Players milling about in the in-goal area. This game could well finish up in a brawl with several players off. Bradford player flat out on the ground. Couldn't see whether the referee awarded the try or not. Wigan going to have to keep their heads. They're not going to want to lose players now for Wembley coming up. Well, it's a lot of time elapsing to bring this Bradford player back onto his feet. Bradford know they've got the try. And that levels the scores at 8 each. And it looks as if this should put Bradford into the lead. It's the simplest of kicks. Ten minutes of the second half gone. As Hobbs puts Bradford into a 10-point to 8 lead. The Wigan struggled for a while there. Bell back on the field now. Wigan back to a full team, 2 points behind. Looks as if Hanley might be substituted. He was hurt and lost the ball, and from that moment, Wigan defence went all awry. Lydon now. Into the in-goal area, taken cleanly. Wigan line of defence moving up, and handling on to Happy, going turning. Ball's gone loose. Went backwards. Bradford regained possession. Wigan penalised for offside. Penalty to Bradford, just inside their own 25. Good kick, right up to the halfway line. Wigan have seen very little of this ball in this game. They'll be desperate to get their hands on it, to try and get into the lead. And here come the forwards again, trying to sort it out. Other forward charging in, dull, pedestrian, plodding rugby. Ball's been dropped and Wigan have it. Penalty to Wigan now for Bradford being offside. Lime to kick for touch with the wind helping him. As he kicks out to this side of the field, he hoists it high and into the 25. Kiss coming up. We're going to have a conference of war as Kiss comes up, but it's West who's coming up first, and it's West who takes it. Kiss to Shelford. Shelford powering his way forward. Can't get through those Bradford forwards. Kiss now to Goodway. Goodway turning onto Byrne. Byrne gets it out. Wayne, Wigan moving it quickly onto Hampson. Hampson can't get the ball moving. Hanley inside. Wigan stopped dead in the tracks. Kiss from behind to play the ball to Byrne. Byrne holding it. Ball's gone astray. Ford gets it. Faced by Preston, and Preston puts him down. Harkin behind the play the ball. McGowan puts his head in, tries to charge forward. Three Wigan forwards hurling back. Noble behind the play the ball. Come the big forwards tearing the way in. Potter goes in. Kiss is taking it, gets it moving onto Wayne. Wayne onto Hanley. Hanley being taken as he receives it. Kiss doing good work there for Wigan. Comes on to Goodway. Goodway changing direction, trying to go down the middle. Just as he looked to be getting it to Kiss, he was downed. Long one. Out to Shelford. Shelford going back into the thick of things. Flings the ball back anywhere to Hanley. Hanley dumming. And the ball flung straight into touch by Hampson. Missed his wingman completely. And it looks as if Bradford are making a substitution. They're bringing off their unknown loose forward and bringing on an unknown substitute. Did you hear who he said was coming on? Did you hear who he said was coming on? Bradford once more getting possession. From the scrum, he doesn't seem to know who has it. He's having to run back to the Wigan side as the game bogs down on the 25 line. Onto the substitute, moving it across the field. Lets the ball go. Onto Mumby. Mumby trying to come down the middle. Wayne hangs on to him. Noble coming over for the play the ball. And here comes the kick. Hampson chasing it, takes it beautifully. Faced with plenty of cover, knocks one down. Ford hangs on to him. Preston behind the play the ball to Hanley. Hanley going crossfield. Buried on the halfway line by Furbank. Goes to Byrne. Byrne on to Shelford. Shelford running back inside, lets the ball go. Wigan keeping it moving. Bell gets it out onto Lydon. Lydon coming inside. Lydon striding away. Legs eventually go from under him. Now Wigan moving it on to Bell. Bell to Hanley. Hanley going to go down the middle, but the middle is jammed and he has to die with it inside the 25. Bell up to acting half-back. Bell to Byrne. Byrne hands it on to Goodway. Goodway gets a wild pass. Wigan slow going up for it and it's loose. Leand hands back quick and referee's bringing them back for the knock-on. Bradford going over the try line, but the referee said there was a knock-on. Bit of slackness in the Wigan passing along the line, nearly let Bradford in. To be harking to feed. Wigan can once again having a lot of trouble in this. No, it's Byrne to feed. A lot of manoeuvring for position. This time Byrne gets it out. Dumming with it, running cross field. Being held, knocks another one off. Bringing Preston inside. Preston making a good run. Dumming to kick. Makes a lot of ground before he eventually dies. Kiss from behind the play of the ball. On to Shelford. Shelford sidestepping back into trouble. He's picked up in the end. He's lost the ball. Kiss on it quickly. Gets it moving. Turn back inside. Wayne going hard. He bounced down. Goodway now holding it. Short one. Wigan trying to batter the way through now. Bell coming up to acting half-back. On to Byrne. Byrne moves it across to Hanley. Hanley ships it out. On to Marshall. Marshall coming inside. No way through for him this time. Hampson puts an up and under. Follows it. It's been caught cleanly by Bradford. Hampson fighting for the ball. Bradford play the ball forward. Got the hard grab. Wigan coming up quickly as they break from behind to play the ball. Bradford have got the forwards with the size, and they have Wadupa to batter the way out. They decide they're going to kick the way. Hampson having to go back to his own 25. He has Hanley with him. Going to run it out. Tries bust through beautifully. Puts in a kick to be chased by Preston. Preston's turned up. It's going to be too far. It's going to roll dead. Hampson came through well then, so it'll be a tap from the 25. And 18 minutes of this second half gone. Bradford leading by 10 points to 4. As Noble comes up to restart with the tap. Here comes Hill. West puts him down very easily. Never got into his stride. Noble trying to come through from behind the play of the ball, and Kiss is hanging on to him, trying to wrest the ball out of his grasp. Noble hangs on to it for dear life as Arkip moves it to Roebuck. Roebuck trying to come down the middle. Noble ships it out. Still tight in the forwards. Wigan got the ball in the tackle. And a penalty to Wigan for offside. And the Wigan player out on the field. Could well be making a substitution. I think West is going to be brought off. Joe Lighton made no mistake with that touch. Graham West trying to take them with him. Shelford working hard. Kiss. Goodway turning it back. On to Wayne. Wayne turns it on to Bell. Bell going down the middle. Kiss comes over, making a dart for the line, gained a lot of ground, still struggling his way forward. Good run by Kiss. Bell waiting for the play the ball to Byrne. Byrne a long one. Hanley hands it on to West, who was in an outside centre position. 5 tackles have gone. As Lydon hoists it high, he's following it. Ball's loose. And it's under the post. That kick caused a bit of consternation. Going to be a drop out from underneath the post. Wigan now getting a chance to apply a bit more pressure. They're still 2 points behind. Preston kicks it inside, faced with a wall of Bradford jerseys, gets round one, still going wide, ducks under a tackle, and then is fell to the ground. Byrne behind the play the ball, onto Goodway, Goodway taking them on. Byrne out to Hanley, Hanley a short one onto Wayne. Wayne showing strength, gets it back onto Hanley. Hanley sidestepping, lobs a long one out to Marshall. Marshall trying to beat them on the outside, and is forced into touch. Halfway through the second half. Referee giving Wigan the penalty. Wigan 2 points behind. Joe Lydon, little stabbed to touch. Wigan now in a good attacking position. 2 points behind. Kiss to Byrne. Byrne to Shelford. Shelford running at them. He stopped dead in his tracks. That was a sound, solid tackle. On to Hanley. Hanley running hard and strong, but the tackling is good. Bell trying to bash his way through the middle. Goes down 10 yards out. Kiss. Goodway coming very hard onto that, shifting them. He eventually has to die under the tacklers. Kiss. Decides he's going to go on his own. He's held a yard short. Good way to act in half back to Lydon. Lydon hoists a high one across field. There are a lot of people under it. It's in the in-goal area, but they managed to clear the lines. The referee says no, they've not brought it out. They're caught in the in-goal area, so the kick's paid off. And Bradford are going to have to give possession back to Wigan. Hampson jumped very high for that ball in the in-goal area. Coming to Potter. Potter straight at them. Good way to Shelford. Shelford gained 10 yards of ground. He's shifted 3 players before he's downed. Kiss to Byrne. Byrne holding it on to West. West going straight. Trying to take them with him. Still going. And eventually take his long legs from under him. He plays it quickly. Goes out to Byrne. Byrne doing the run around. Byrne, long pass, beautifully taken by Wigan. Wigan forcing it down the right wing. Marshall inside. Good long one to West. Bounces awkwardly, gets it the second attempt. 5 tackles gone. Comes out to Byrne. Byrne puts a little overhead kick straight into Ford. Gets away from Preston, gets away from Hampson, turns it inside, good run by Ford. Ball's loose, goes back, referee says there's a knock on. Kids still not having trouble getting down, it shoots straight out the side. Wigan lost it against the head on the ball, and there's a lovely break on here. Ford gone through, and they're straight down the Wigan left wing, Simpson turning for the line. line, great run, and Wigan covered across well, but that was a lovely break from the scrum by Bradford. Still keeping the ball moving from the play of the ball, but they're being forced back inside, and that was a good break by Bradford. Wigan had time to recover, resort out the defence, but they're taking the shellacking in the tight scrums. And now they're back to their own 25. Noble doing a switch with Harkin. Harkin doing it. Forwards coming hard onto it. Ball's gone loose and Wigan kick it back. Could be danger here as Hampson, so safe on his own line, covered across well. Wigan got it all to do here as they've got to fight the way out, and that's a good clearing run from the first one. Now Goodway decides he's going to, and he's gone a long way, clearing the lines well, these Wigan forwards at the moment. Comes on to Shelford. Shelford looking for support this time. Bradford trying to pin Wigan down there. And Kiss has come a tremendous way. A great run. He's looking for support. Gets it out. Wigan streaking for the line. Byrne going. And he eventually put down. That was a great run by Kiss. Set Wigan up. Comes to Hanley. Hanley's going for the line. Dubbing. Onto Bell. Bell dives. And Bell's into the corner. And Wigan take the lead. Well set up by a break from Kiss. Just outside his own 25. He made a lovely darting run from behind to play the ball. He was well backed up by Byrne. Byrne went streaking down the field. Out to Hanley. Hanley timed his pass beautifully. And Bell finished off to put Wigan back into a lead for which they've had to struggle extremely hard. And it looks as if Graham West is going off. And that would probably mean Ian Lucas coming on. Northern 10, Wigan 12. 29 minutes of the second half gone. Joe Lydon with a long kick just in from the touchline. Lifts it high and over! A great kick by Joe Lydon, making it now Northern 10, Wigan 14. An important kick that. Northern now going to need a converted try. They've had a lot of possession but not put a lot of pressure on Wigan really in the Wigan 25. Hobbs to kick out. Marshall in skull dragged there. Lucas gets his first touch of the ball. Now it's Shelford. Shelford's grafted very hard, lets the ball go. Comes to Potter. Potter sticks it right up his jumper. Kiss onto Lucas. Lucas gains his 10 yards of ground. Kiss onto Wayne, and Wayne's put a kick in. Bounces awkwardly for Mumbai, has to take it in his own in-goal area. Hanley's up to follow him across. And that's gained Wigan a lot of ground. Bradford pushed back into their own 25. Wigan penalised for offside at the play of the ball. Up too quickly. Mumbai makes no mistake, pushing it up to the halfway line. Oh! was a knock-on from the first pass. From the tap penalty, knocked on. And touch judge had a word with the referee. And another riot act going to be read. Referee says Skerritt used his elbow afterwards after he'd knocked on. And so Wigan don't have to fight for the ball. They get the penalty on the halfway line. Joe Lydon finds it just outside the 25. Kiss on to Shelford. He's put down very easily. Now Goodway going forward. Ties with it on the 25 line. Kiss to Byrne. Byrne to Wayne. Wayne going back, tries to take it over the 25 line. He's still going. And he's thrown a passing that was never on at all. It just goes to ground. And Wigan have lost possession. The substitute moves it across to Robert. Robert trying to come through. Stopped dead in his tracks. Good tattle up by Shelford. Wigan pushing Northern across the field. Referee said the ball was dropped as it was being played, I think. Yes. Over Wigan to feed the scrum. Front rows trying to sort each other out. Coming out to Wigan. Byrne having to hang on to it. The Northern player right in the Wigan ranks. Back to Potter. Potter going forward, giving his team time. It's a good run by Potter. Wigan now sorted out. Skiss moves it across. Lydon onto Bell. Bell coming hard onto the ball. Kiss onto Byrne. Byrne to Shelford. Shelford managed to get his pass in. Wigan trying to duck under the tackles as Marshall comes across. Hanley back onto Byrne. Byrne dummying it. Wigan's pass has been knocked down. It's 8 minutes to go as Byrne puts it in, sticking in the pipe. Byrne has it. And his referee says he knocked on behind the scrum. And it penalised for opening his mouth. Mumbai to kick for touch. Makes no mistake with it. And Noble comes over. Noble to Hill, who's worked very hard. Noble, Harkin. Skerritt easily taken. Noble to Harkin. Harkin switches it back inside onto Hobbs. Hobbs going strongly. And the ball's been knocked on. Mumby couldn't take it cleanly. Bradford battling the way down the middle. And again Wigan's head shoot up at this scrum. Ball's out to Wigan, out to Hanley. Hanley out to Hampson. Hampson's taken out of the game well. Hanley waiting behind to play the ball. Short pass. And Wigan now finding it difficult to make progress as Sean Wayne lobs it inside onto Shelford. Shelford decides he's going forward. Plays it to himself. And there's a penalty to Wigan. The charger was offside. Wigan will need to settle this down for this last 5 minutes. They have a 4-point lead. Lydon finds it just short of the 25 line. Kiss gives it to Lucas, and Lucas loses possession. The pass was dangerously forward. Lucas didn't time that at all well. And Wigan lose possession and lose the advantage of that penalty. That's when I was saying they needed to settle it down and play it steady. Hampson right up in the Wigan three-quarters. The ball goes in, it's wheeling all over the place. Bradford now, they're going to have to turn hot into attack. They're coming to come down the middle. Wigan going to need to hold them here. Out to Harkin. Harkin to Roebuck. Roebuck moving it across. Bell goes in to help the other tattlers. Roebuck running well. Wigan move up. Kiss has the ball, lobs it back. On to Goodway. Goodway out on. Goodway going back inside. Goodway still going. Knocking him over. Great run by Goodway. After Kiss once again intelligently stole the ball out to Byrne. Byrne to Hanley. Hanley to Shelford. Shelford still dragging them with him. And eventually he's bounced down. They hit him hard in the tattle. Kiss, who's had a good game, sends a long one to Wayne. Wayne to Bell. Bell bringing Preston inside. Preston managed to get it back onto Byrne. Byrne running wide. Decided he's going to come back this way. Knocks one off. Byrne still going. Kiss. High lob pass. Goes out to Hanley. Hanley sidestepping. Dumming. Tries to decide he's going to go through. Just gets over the 25 line. Bit of hanging on in the play of the ball. Comes inside to Lucas. Lucas taking them with him, going hard for the line. Gets his pass in. Wigan turning the heat on now. Hell 5 yards short of the line. And why Wigan kicked at the ball there, I don't know, but I think the referee's given a knock on. Ball was hacked on at the play of the ball. About 3 minutes of normal time, 4 points in it. Wigan down on the Bradford line, fighting for precious points. Byrne to feed, and the pack's collapsed completely. The time ticking away, untidy scrummaging. Wigan won't mind this. Referee hasn't stopped the clock. And he's pulling the hookers out. He's putting Kiss out, says he stabbed on somebody. Very close to the touch line. Narrow angle. No mistake made. Up to the 25 line. Once again, Hill comes tearing into the Wigan pack. Well backed up on each side. And mighty men are powering the way forward. Quick play the ball. Bradford not giving up the ghost yet, still hoping to snatch this game out of the fire. To move the ball across field. Burns into the tackle. Substitute comes over. Onto Hobbs. Hobbs a long pass stretching Wigan. Trying to come down the centre. Ball's been thrown out wide. Bounce fortunately for Bradford. They keep it away from the touchline. 5 tackles gone as they come into the Wigan 25. Little grubber kick, and Hanley's there to cover for Wigan. Can Wigan hold it now for approximately 2 minutes from their own 25? Hampson Grovels his way forward a couple of yards. Now it's Goodway's turn. Goodway sends a short one onto Lucas. Kiss onto Goodway. Goodway's had a good game, gets his pass in, out onto Preston. Preston taken from behind, has to dive with it. Goodway over acting half-back. Goodway onto Byrne. Byrne kicks. Mumby takes it. Wigan wall of defence is moving up, and Bell and Byrne hang on to him. Substitute coming to act in half-back as Harkin moves it across. McGowan tries to batter his way through. No way through that Wigan tattling. Harkin holding it. Ball's been knocked on. Referee spotted it. Now we're at the end of normal time. We're now going into stoppage time. The Wigan to feed this scrum. Packs all over the place. Ball shoots straight out, and Wigan penalised at the scrum. Last-ditch effort now for Northern. The referee giving the penalty 10 yards further for Wigan messing about at the penalty. And they push it up to 25. Wigan giving silly penalties away there now as Hill was charging at the forwards. Wigan waited for him. Harkin. Bradford still keeping it moving. Ball's gone loose and Wigan have it. The referee said it's gone forward. Well, we're now in injury time as the forwards go down in the Wigan 25. Ball shoots out the Wigan side. Byrne dives on it. There goes the hooter. A game which Wigan will have been delighted to have won. It was hard, dour, grafting stuff. The Wigan tries were good ones, but Bradford played it hard and tight and tough. However, Wigan will be delighted to go away from this Yorkshire ground, having won by 14 points to 10, a game which should stand them in good stead for a top 4 place. This is your commentator, John McDermott, hoping you've enjoyed the film shot by your cameraman David Shaw for Micron Electric of Gidler Lane, Wigan. From the first one. Now Goodway decides he's gone a long way. Clearing the lines well, these Wigan forwards at the moment. Comes on to Shelford. Shelford looking for support this time. Bradford trying to pin Wigan down there. And Kiss has come a tremendous way. A great run. He's looking for support. Gets it out. Wigan streaking for the line. Byrne going. And he eventually put down. That was a great run by Kiss. Set Wigan up. Comes to Hanley. Hanley's going for the line. Dubbing. Onto Bell. Bell dives. And Bell's into the corner. And Wigan take the lead. Well set up by a break from Kiss. Just outside his own 25. He made a lovely darting run from behind to play the ball. He was well backed up by Byrne. Byrne went streaking down the field. Out to Hanley. Hanley timed his pass beautifully. And Bell finished off to put Wigan back into a lead.